We're going to be talking about how to set up an HTTPS on your WordPress website. Let's say you called your host and you told your host, look, I need you to do this SSL for me. I'm putting in an actual ticket for an SSL and you purchase it through your web host. They'll on their end set it up and then send you an email with your certificate information on it, and then they'll tell you, okay, now your website is ready to be HTTPS with the SSL. So what do you do once you get that email? That's what this video is for. There's two ways you can do this. You can do it the lazy way, which I'm going to tell you first, or you can do it this way and you can make sure it's done correctly. I do it this way and not the lazy way, because by me just doing it the lazy way, I'm putting another plugin on my website and I'm just adding more code to something that can potentially conflict with other plugins that I use that I need on my website. I don't want to do that. Anything I don't absolutely need to have, I'm not going to have it. And I don't have to have this, and you don't either. So I would just recommend you doing it the way I'm going to tell you to do it. But I'll tell you what that is, that tool that you can get it if you want to do it that way. It's called Force HTTPS. That is what you would get on your actual WordPress site if you wanted to use that tool to just force it all over. But I'm going to show you the way I do my HTTPSs on the websites that I have HTTPSs on, okay? I come underneath my settings to general setting. And what I do is I do this. It's very simple. I put an S there and I put an S there. Then what I do, and you don't want to do this until they email you and say that your website is ready for HTTPS SSL. Then I hit Save Changes. Okay, but I'm going to take that off because I don't have an HTTPS on this one. So what that's going to do is that's automatically going to revert everything over to HTTPS on your WordPress website. Now you're going to see some errors on certain pages, and I'm going to show you how you correct that. Those errors that show up on those pages are any images that you have set up, because you set them up as HTTP images. Now you got to go into those individual pages and just go underneath your I'm going to show you one, for example, okay? Go underneath your pages where you have any images, and you would just simply do this. Let me find one. I'll use this one. You're going to say, okay, I got an image here. Wow, it's this image right here. So how do I change that to make sure I don't have that error show up at the top of my website address where the padlock is? I'm going to go to text, and any place I have an image with a link, like this is a link to another website, and I know it's a link because it's got ahref, so that's not my image thing. So I'm just going to keep going through until I find my images. Let's see. So you go through, all of this is my ads at the top, so that's not it. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next one. Aweber review. So now I'm getting somewhere. Here's my image. This is my affiliate link, so I'm not going to touch this because Aweber is HTTP, so I'm not touching that. So image class. Anything that's got image class, that is image. Anything that's got this arrow thing going to the left and then it says IMG behind it and class equals, or it's going to say IMG and then it's going to have a space and then it's going to say SRC. If you don't have it aligned center like I do, this won't be there. So you're going to look for that, and that's your image. You're going to go here, you're going to put an S there, and then you're going to go everywhere else you have an image on this page, do the same thing, then you're going to update. By doing that, on each page that's got an image, it's going to erase the error for that page. Then you're going to go to every widget. You're going to go to every post and do that. And I know it's daunting. I had 200 pages, I had to do that on my last SSL. So believe me, I'm with you on that. So widget, you're going to go under your widget anywhere where you have text. IMG, SRC, you see, I'll put my S there. So I got my S there now. I got that done. It threw me all the way down at the back. I got that done. And then I'd move to my next image. You see this right here would be a link for my website. This is for my landing page for somebody to subscribe, so I would throw an S there. Anything that's from my website, that's a link, I would put it in there. If it's from somebody else's website and this doesn't have an S, you don't change it. Only if it's from your website and it's a link from your website or an image from your website do you change that S on. So you're going to go through each one of these, and if you see a link to your website in the widget or an image that comes from your website, you're going to change it to S, then you're going to save it and update it. That'll erase the error on any page that's got your widgets on it. Okay? So last but not least, you want to make sure that you go to your media. Once you go to your media, sorry about that, it's taking a second. You're going to go to each one of these, click on it, then you're going to hit here, and you're going to add an S. Then you're going to make sure that you update that. Let's see. So in this case, I need to view the page attachment. So that's what we would do. We would view the page attachment, because by viewing the page attachment, you're going to be able to actually modify the link. So you need to make sure you view the page attachment. Go here to the file, and it's not letting me do it because I did not update my actual site to HTTPS in the general, but you should be able to do this whenever you get to this point. If it doesn't let you do it that way, then I was able to do it on all mine when I updated it. So that's how you're going to do that, is you're going to do that from that right here underneath your view attachment, and then you're going to update it, and it's going to let you do it. But for some reason, since I did not update mine, it's not going to let me do it. But that's how I did it on my SSL that I just did. I want to say it was 3 months ago. I got a new SSL on one of my websites. So you'll have to make sure that you do that first. And once you do that with the HTTPS, it should let you come in here, and it should let you come update these and put that S in there. Okay? But it's not letting me do it now because I don't have the S in there. So that's how you do it. That's how you update everything. And the last thing I want to mention to you to do is go to your plugins and all your pages. Okay? Once you update to an SSL, and deactivate every one of these, okay, and then reactivate every one of them, and any updates or modifications and refreshing that needs to do to go from HTTP to HTTPS is going to do that. You want to do that also if you have audio teachings, to make sure that your that this is going to update your audio teachings to HTTPS. So you just want to make sure you're doing all that. One last measure, if you want to just be safe, you can go into your WordPress, into your web hosting dash under HT access, and then you could throw the force HTTP or rewrite HTTP coding to HTTPS coding to rewrite in there. You can grab that coding from online. I don't have it here in this video to show you. I wouldn't recommend doing that last step unless you know what you're doing. You would put it at the top of that coding, and then you would update after you edit that, and your file manager and your web hosting. But don't do that if you're not familiar with it, okay? This should be sufficient to get rid of any errors on any pages, okay? And if you have an issue in closing with your media not allowing you to do that, which you shouldn't, because I did not have an issue, you're going to have to take that media and then either A, go through each podcast in your pod and your post at the bottom here and change it here. Watch and see if this does it, okay? I don't know if I got one on this or not. If I don't, I'll just scroll down here, okay? Go here and try and change it this way. Add an S in front of your P here, and then re-verify it, okay? After you re-verify the S, update it, and then you'll be updating all the individual podcasts in each page with podcast, and then that might get rid of the actual errors, and you'll be able to keep the actual media in there without it having an issue of showing an error. So those are just some tips on what you need to do whenever you do put an HTTPS SSL on your WordPress website.